Have you ever wondered why, despite taking your daily vitamins faithfully, your legs still feel weaker, your balance seems off, or your energy just isn't what it used to be? You're not alone, and you're not imagining it. As a seasoned physician with decades of experience in health and aging, I've come to recognize a troubling trend. Many older adults are unknowingly harming their muscle strength and mobility through something they believe is helping them: vitamin supplements. This might come as a surprise, especially since vitamins are often marketed as the cornerstone of healthy aging. And yes, they are essential for countless bodily functions. But here's the truth most people don't hear. When taken in excessive amounts or without proper medical guidance, some of the most common vitamins can do more harm than good, especially to your legs and nervous system. For those over 60, the body no longer processes nutrients the same way it did at 30 or 40. That means even well-meaning health habits can quietly backfire. Now, imagine if by simply adjusting your supplement routine, you could regain energy in your legs, improve your balance, and reduce your risk of falls or fractures. That's not just a possibility. It's a reality backed by both medical research and firsthand experience. In the following article, we'll explore 3 popular vitamins, A and B6, that may be silently sabotaging your strength. I'll explain how they affect your body, what symptoms to watch for, and most importantly, what you can do today to protect your independence and vitality. Let's dive in, not with fear, but with knowledge. Because the right information can give you back control over your health, one smart decision at a time. Vitamin E, the double-edged sword. In the world of vitamins, few have received as much praise over the years as vitamin E. Marketed as a powerful antioxidant and a staple of anti-aging regimens, vitamin E has gained a reputation for being a natural protector of the body. From immune support to glowing skin, it's often seen as a must-have in the daily routine of many health-conscious individuals, especially older adults. But as a seasoned physician who has spent decades observing the long-term outcomes of supplement use in seniors, I must offer a cautionary tale. Vitamin E, when taken excessively, can become a silent saboteur, particularly for your legs and your overall mobility. To understand how something so widely regarded as beneficial can turn harmful, we need to look at how vitamin E behaves in the body. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin C, which are excreted through urine when taken in excess, vitamin E is fat-soluble. This means that it doesn't leave the body easily. Instead, it accumulates in fatty tissues and the liver over time. While this storage mechanism ensures a steady supply of the vitamin, it also means that prolonged overconsumption, often from supplements, can quietly build to toxic levels, creating a ticking time bomb of side effects. One of the less discussed effects of excessive vitamin E is its impact on muscle health. While vitamin E does support cellular integrity, studies have shown that high doses do not correlate with increased muscle strength or endurance. In fact, some clinical research has found that long-term supplementation with vitamin E had no meaningful effect on submaximal exercise, performance, or strength. For seniors who are already prone to sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, this distinction is crucial. The expectation that vitamin E might boost stamina or restore youthful energy often goes unmet, and worse, it can backfire. Let me tell you a story about a patient of mine, Harold, a 74-year-old retired teacher who was always active and sharp-minded. He came into my clinic complaining of persistent fatigue in his legs. "I just don't feel as steady as I used to," he said. He wasn't experiencing pain, just an increasing difficulty rising from chairs, and an odd wobble when navigating curbs or stairs. At first glance, it seemed like classic age-related muscle decline. But Harold was different. He had no chronic illnesses, his blood pressure was well managed, and his diet was wholesome. What stood out during our conversation was his supplement regimen. He had been taking 800 IU of vitamin E daily for nearly 5 years, convinced by online articles and friends that it would keep him youthful and protect his heart. This dosage, more than double the upper recommended limit of 400 IU for older adults, had gradually accumulated in his system. His liver function was slightly off, and his blood clotting times were prolonged. More importantly, Harold's balance and coordination tests revealed minor but significant deficits that hadn't been present in his last checkup just 2 years earlier. As it turned out, his excessive vitamin E intake was likely contributing to neuromuscular interference, disrupting the signaling between his nerves and muscles and contributing to his leg weakness. But Harold's situation became even more alarming after a minor fall in his garden. He suffered deep bruising, and the bleeding was unusually difficult to control, despite what should have been a relatively minor scrape. That's when the other danger of high-dose vitamin E made itself clear. It acts as a natural blood thinner, and in people already taking medications like aspirin or anticoagulants, as many seniors do, this effect can become dangerous. The risk of hemorrhagic stroke or uncontrolled bleeding increases substantially, something most vitamin bottles fail to warn about clearly. Vitamin E also interferes with vitamin K, a key player in blood clotting. So, when taken in large amounts, vitamin E doesn't just fail to enhance strength or vitality, it compromises 2 of the most critical systems for aging adults: muscular function and blood safety. After assessing Harold's condition and lab results, we tapered off his vitamin E supplements entirely. Within 3 months, he noticed significant improvements. His legs felt steadier, his energy improved, and, most importantly, his fear of falling began to fade. He also switched to getting vitamin E naturally through his diet, incorporating foods like almonds, spinach, and sunflower seeds in moderate amounts. These provide vitamin E in safe, bioavailable quantities and come with other beneficial nutrients that balance its effects. The takeaway from Harold's story, and many like his, is clear. Just because a supplement is available over the counter doesn't mean it's safe in all doses or for all people. In fact, for those over 60, more is rarely better. The human body becomes more sensitive with age, and the margin for error narrows. Supplements, especially fat-soluble ones like vitamin E, should never be added to your daily routine without the guidance of a medical professional. If you're currently taking vitamin E, take a moment to review the dosage. Check whether it's combined in a multivitamin, found in additional fortified foods, or part of a standalone supplement. You may be consuming far more than your body needs, or can handle safely. Ultimately, our goal as we age is not just to add years to life, but life to our years. That includes maintaining strong, stable legs that can carry us through everyday activities and joyful moments alike. And sometimes, ensuring that strength starts not with taking more, but with taking less and doing so with greater awareness. Vitamin A, a delicate balance. Vitamin A is often heralded as a cornerstone of healthy aging. It's essential for maintaining vision, supporting immune function, and facilitating communication between cells. For decades, older adults have been advised to ensure adequate intake of this nutrient, especially to protect against age-related macular degeneration and infections. However, as with many nutrients, the benefits of vitamin A lie in the balance, and that balance becomes increasingly delicate as we age. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, which the body flushes out through urine when taken in excess, vitamin A is fat-soluble. This means any excess is stored in the liver and fatty tissues, where it can quietly accumulate to toxic levels over time. Unfortunately, this gradual buildup is often invisible until the damage begins to surface. Among the most concerning effects of chronic vitamin A overload is its impact on bone health. Several studies have shown that excessive intake of preformed vitamin A, particularly in the form of supplements or cod liver oil, is linked to reduced bone mineral density and an increased risk of hip and other fractures. The cortical bone, the dense outer surface of bone that provides structural integrity, appears especially vulnerable. In older adults, where bone density is already at risk due to natural hormonal and metabolic changes, the addition of too much vitamin A can accelerate the decline, effectively weakening the skeletal frame that supports every movement, every step. This reality became crystal clear in the case of one of my long-term patients, Evelyn, a 79-year-old former librarian who lived independently and prided herself on staying well-informed about health trends. She had been taking cod liver oil capsules for over 15 years, believing they were helping her eyesight and immune resilience. But in a routine bone scan, we discovered that her bone density had declined far more rapidly than expected, particularly in the hips and femur. She hadn't changed her diet or lifestyle drastically. No smoking, no excessive alcohol, and she remained active. What she didn't realize was that the very supplement she trusted was delivering far more vitamin A than her body could safely process. Her daily dosage from the capsules alone exceeded 3,000 micrograms of preformed vitamin A, nearly double the upper recommended limit. The effects of vitamin A toxicity don't typically appear overnight. They present subtly: joint aches, persistent fatigue, dry skin, and headaches. In older adults, these symptoms are often mistaken for just getting old. But beneath those symptoms can lie a dangerous loss of bone density. Worse, high levels of vitamin A have been associated with an increased risk of falls, not just because of skeletal fragility, but also due to its interference with neuromuscular function. Seniors, who are already at greater risk of falls due to decreased balance and muscle mass, face even steeper odds when their bones are simultaneously being hollowed out from the inside. What makes this particularly troubling is how easy it is to overconsume vitamin A without realizing it. Many multivitamins contain preformed vitamin A in addition to what's already present in fortified cereals, dairy products, and animal-based foods like liver and eggs. When you add in supplements, especially outdated formulations or cod liver oil, the total intake can quickly exceed safe thresholds. Compounding the issue is that most supplement labels don't clearly distinguish between preformed vitamin A, retinol, and beta-carotene, the latter of which the body converts to vitamin A as needed and does not carry the same toxicity risk. After we adjusted Evelyn's supplementation, switched her to a balanced multivitamin with beta-carotene instead of retinol, and increased her intake of calcium and vitamin D-rich foods, her bone loss slowed considerably. With strength training and dietary changes, her fall risk reduced, and she reported feeling stronger and steadier in her daily movements. More importantly, she became an advocate in her retirement community, encouraging her peers to reevaluate their supplement routines with their physicians. The lesson here is clear. Even nutrients that are vital in moderation can turn harmful when taken without careful thought or proper medical supervision. Vitamin A, while necessary for maintaining many bodily functions, demands respect for its potential to harm when its intake goes unchecked. Especially in older adults, where bone preservation and fall prevention are priorities, oversupplementation with preformed vitamin A may do more harm than good. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving of excess. Nutritional needs evolve, and so must our approach to supplementation. Rather than relying on habit or outdated health advice, it's essential to individualize vitamin intake based on current health status, diet, and medical guidance. After all, the goal is not just to survive the aging process, but to remain active, independent, and strong. Vitamin A can support that goal, but only when it's part of a well-balanced, well-monitored plan. Vitamin B6, nerve function impairment. Vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, plays a crucial role in supporting brain health, aiding protein metabolism, and facilitating the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. For many older adults, especially those concerned with cognitive decline or energy loss, this vitamin may seem like a natural choice to supplement. It is often included in multivitamins, energy boosters, and even standalone formulations marketed for brain support. However, what is less commonly understood, and far more concerning, is the potential danger of excessive vitamin B6 intake, particularly when taken over long periods without medical supervision. Unlike some water-soluble vitamins that the body excretes when consumed in excess, vitamin B6 can, paradoxically, become toxic even though it's water-soluble. When taken in high doses, particularly over 100 milligrams per day for extended periods, it can lead to a condition known as sensory neuropathy. This neurological disorder results from damage to the peripheral nerves and manifests in a variety of symptoms: tingling, numbness, burning sensations in the feet or hands, and a gradual loss of muscle control and coordination. What begins as a mild and intermittent symptom can progress into more severe motor issues: unsteady gait, difficulty climbing stairs, and in extreme cases, an inability to feel one's own feet, making walking dangerously unpredictable. As a physician, I've seen many cases where patients, unaware of the risks, were taking doses far exceeding the recommended dietary allowance, RDA. For adults over 50, the RDA for vitamin B6 is about 1.7 milligrams per day for men and 1.5 milligrams for women, amounts easily met through a balanced diet. Yet supplements often contain 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, or even 100 milligrams per capsule, and when combined with fortified foods and multivitamins, the cumulative dose can quietly climb into toxic territory. What's especially troubling is that symptoms of vitamin B6 toxicity don't emerge suddenly. They develop gradually, and because they often mimic the natural effects of aging, like balance issues, muscle fatigue, or nerve pain, they're frequently misdiagnosed or dismissed. One patient story comes to mind. Harold, a 74-year-old retired machinist, came to my clinic complaining of persistent tingling in his feet and occasional difficulty maintaining balance. Initially, we considered common causes like diabetic neuropathy or poor circulation, but Harold was neither diabetic nor sedentary. His blood work revealed elevated levels of vitamin B6. He had been taking 2 different brain health supplements, each containing over 50 milligrams of B6, every day for several years. Once we identified the issue, we immediately discontinued the supplements and began a regimen of nerve support through nutrition and physical therapy. While Harold recovered much of his strength and sensation over time, he continues to experience residual numbness, a reminder of how even well-intentioned health practices can backfire without proper guidance. What's especially frustrating is how preventable this condition is. Most people are unaware that high-dose vitamin B6 supplementation offers no proven cognitive or muscular benefit in individuals who already meet their nutritional needs. In fact, once the body's stores are saturated, additional intake provides no advantage, and as we've seen, it carries significant risk. The nerves, particularly those responsible for sensory input in the legs and feet, are especially vulnerable. And in older adults, any compromise to nerve function increases the likelihood of falls, fractures, and a loss of independence. In short, while vitamin B6 is undeniably essential for health, more is not always better. Awareness is key. Before reaching for another supplement promising energy, mental clarity, or nerve protection, older adults must ask, is this necessary, and is it safe for me? It's vital to consult a healthcare provider, monitor supplement intake closely, and prioritize obtaining nutrients through real food. Foods like chickpeas, bananas, poultry, and fortified cereals offer safe and effective sources of vitamin B6 without the risks associated with megadosing. In the pursuit of better health and longevity, smart supplementation, not blind overconsumption, is the path forward. Throughout my years of medical practice, I have consistently observed a well-meaning but concerning trend among older adults: the assumption that taking more vitamins equates to better health. This belief, though rooted in a desire for longevity and vitality, often leads to excessive and unsupervised supplement use. Vitamins are undoubtedly essential micronutrients that support numerous bodily functions, from bone health and immune defense to cognitive performance. However, their benefits are not amplified by exceeding recommended doses, especially in the case of fat-soluble vitamins like A and E, or even certain water-soluble ones like B6, which can accumulate in the body and cause harm over time. In clinical evaluations, I have seen a notable correlation between high-dose vitamin supplementation and symptoms such as muscle weakness, fatigue, impaired coordination, and balance disturbances in older adults. These symptoms are frequently mistaken for natural aging or chronic conditions, delaying appropriate intervention. Often, it is only through a detailed review of a patient's supplement intake that the underlying cause is uncovered. When such regimens are adjusted, by eliminating unnecessary supplements and emphasizing a food-first approach to nutrition, patients commonly report improvements in both energy levels and physical function. This reinforces a fundamental principle in geriatric care. Nutritional needs change with age, and what was once beneficial may become counterproductive. Vitamins, while vital, should not be approached with a more is better mindset. Instead, supplementation must be personalized, evidence-based, and periodically reassessed to reflect an individual's current health status, medication use, and dietary intake. Ultimately, a cautious and informed approach to supplementation, guided by qualified medical advice, serves to protect muscle strength, preserve independence, and promote healthier aging. It is not the abundance of pills that safeguards well-being, but rather the wisdom to discern when they are truly necessary. Vitamins play a vital role in sustaining our health, particularly as we age and our nutritional needs evolve. However, it is crucial to recognize that not all supplementation is beneficial, especially when taken in excess. While vitamins E, A, and B6 are essential for various bodily functions, their overconsumption has been linked to unintended consequences, including muscle weakness, balance impairment, and increased risk of falls among older adults. These outcomes are often subtle, mistakenly attributed to normal aging, and can compromise one's independence over time. As a result, it becomes imperative to approach supplementation with a mindset rooted in caution, science, and personalization. No two individuals are alike in their physiological makeup, and what works for one person may not be suitable for another. The safest and most effective strategy is to begin with a nutrient-rich diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, sources that naturally provide the essential vitamins in bioavailable forms. Supplements should serve only as a complement to dietary intake and be used under the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider. Ultimately, health is not about taking more pills, but about making informed choices that respect the body's natural balance. As we grow older, mindful consumption becomes not just wise, it becomes essential. With awareness, professional guidance, and a commitment to intentional nutrition, we can preserve our leg strength, enhance mobility, and maintain the independence that defines a fulfilling life well into our later years.